I finally bought my new backbook, and this is the video where I set it up. So first thing I did was to leaf to the middle of the book and put a tab there, and then I put a tab at the very front. So these tabs signify work and home. So work is the first half of the book and home is the second half of the book. Then I put a post-it here just to remind myself what to write on this page, namely my project master list for work. And then I started transferring all the tabs from my old book. So these are the project tabs from the back book I used to have that I wasn't happy with. So I'm just transferring them to the new book, one tab per spread. And as I come to the end there, I realize that I've left too little room, so I can't see the final tab, so I have to adjust them all again. And after doing that, I also put tabs at the top. So I put one tab for next actions, the next action section, and one tab. I replaced the placeholder tab and put a black and white tab because black and white tabs are for work for me. So here the heart tab is for the projects at work, and the zigzag one is for next actions. And this pink one that I've put in place now is for the home section. And I'm just writing a post-it to myself, home projects, so a master list for home as well. And possible next actions for this section. Then I transferred all the next action context tabs from the old book. They don't have washi tape on them, they have writing. I might change this in the future, but for now I don't want to decide on, the patterns or colors they should have. But I have my usual contexts like listen and creative stuff and assessing and contact. Well, loads of different contexts. Then I went to the home project section and transferred the project tabs for home. So these are for the cabin, for cleaning, for health, for shopping, and for YouTube videos. And I have lots of other home project areas, but I don't have current projects going in those areas. So in this back book where I have my current projects, I don't need to put the tabs until I actually do something about those other areas. They live on the shelf in the someday maybe insert instead. And now I am transferring the tabs for the calendar spreads. So I'm putting them in the very back of the back book, and I also put a tab at the top to signify that this is the calendar section. And I saved setting them up for later, and instead started transferring the home possible next action contexts. So I'm just putting the headings, the contexts on post-its to begin with, because I don't know them by heart yet. And as you can see, I've hardly used them. I haven't used these pages in my old back book, so something was wrong about the setup. And now I'm just marking the pages where I want my home next action contexts to be. And I put them immediately before the calendar section. So the home next action section is right before the calendar section in the back of the back book. All right, next step was to transfer the actual writing on all the project spreads. So that's what I'm doing here, using my color coding. So turquoise tab, turquoise writing for my turquoise project, and brown tab and brown writing for my brown project, and so on. And I want to say something about how I set up my project spreads, because last spring I tried out a setup where I divided the spread into 4 equal parts, and I had sub-projects, information, reference material, and someday maybe lists, I think, in those 4 quadrants. And it was fine, you know, it wasn't a bad idea, but I don't know, it doesn't really help me because I thought I would see more clearly, you know, the different areas, like, oh, this is where I write someday maybe stuff, this is where I write information I need to know, contact information pertaining to a project and so on. But it seems like every project spread wants its own layout, because they're very different. Some of the projects I have loads of things to do, so the one whole page is needed to write all the sub-projects, whereas in other projects I may only use 2 lines to write the sub-projects. So having the same layout didn't make sense. Now I have started actually drawing out the calendar pages, and I do it in pencil because why not? It's so easy to make a mistake, and the calendar isn't supposed to be pretty in my book, so I just use a pencil and leave it at that. I am both using a ruler and counting the boxes, you know, the dots on the page. So the boxes, the calendar boxes, as it were, each day of the month is 3.5 centimeters times 4 centimeters. And I count, I think it was 7 dots or something. So yeah, I use the whole page for my calendar because I need a lot of space to write. I have a lot of deadlines and meetings and stuff, so I don't embellish anything on the calendar spreads because that just distracts me, and also it takes up room, and I can't have that. I need all the room I can get. So I do this grid for, what is it, 7 months, December to July, which feels really nice to have the whole sort of work year laid out. I didn't have that before, but already we're planning meetings and stuff in March and April, even June, so I really needed those pages. And now that I've done all the pages, I take my old book and I rip out the calendar pages from that book. I don't know how many times I've done this by now, but I needed them as I went to work this morning to transfer all the deadlines and meetings. So I just took that part with me. And now I am switching out the book. So I peeled off the gaffer tape from the old back book, and now I'm just wrapping it around the new one. And I have to redo it because it didn't really align, but that's fine because gaffer is such a good product. It's, you know, if it can't be mended with gaffer, it's really broken. And it really, it's so strong. It holds all these books, the front book and the back book, and the insert in the middle. So it's really perfect. So let's have a look at the finished product, as it were. It's very similar to what I had before, but I'm just a little bit more pleased with it. For one, it's a good thickness now. It really lies in my hand in a way that I want. At the front I have my monthly booklet, with a paper clip that shouldn't be there. My monthly booklet with the calendar and the trackers and the weeklies and memory keeping pages and all that. I have my journaling. Some of it has been prepped and some not. Here I have a song that I wrote today, so I think I'll prep it after the fact, paint it, because I used ink that is not water soluble, so I should be able to paint this now to make it prettier. Blank pages, which some of them I will prep, others not. This is the Someday Maybe insert. With, you know, the projects that are on the back burner with all the tabs, and the back book, the front book, insert, and back book. In the back book we have all my work projects. So this tab signifies the work projects, so they start here. This is where I'll put my master list. I haven't done that yet. These are all the projects, and after all of those we have the next tab at the top, which signifies the next action spreads. So they come after the project spreads. These are the tabs for all my contexts. And after that we have blank pages until we come to the middle of the book. Let's see, another paper clip. What is this? So there's room for meeting notes, just random scribbles, brainstorming, next action spreads, anything really. Lots of room to write. And in the middle of the book, page 121, my home section starts. So this tab signifies home projects. So all my home projects here, the tabs for those, and the spreads. And after that I have empty pages until we come to the possible next actions section for home. And the reason why I didn't put the next action section for home immediately after the home project section is that I don't know how many home projects I'll have. For work it's more predictable. I have these 10 projects, and I'll get new projects in January, but then I'll start a new section. So for home I'm just leaving room so I can add project spreads from the front, and I can add next action spreads from the back. So if I need to, if I put a lot of Googling stuff and run out of room, I can just go backwards in the book and continue here. So they will meet in the middle, the home projects and the home next actions. I haven't put in all the tabs for the contexts yet, but I will. And final top tab marks where the calendar section starts. So I have December, skip a page or a spread so that I can rip them out and glue them into the front book when I need them, when it's actually December or January, so on. So that's why I skip 2 pages. January, skip a page, February, skip a page, March, blah, 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 April, until July, where I have nothing. And that's the end of the book, and I am pleased with this setup. I hope I will be able to stick with this now and not keep ripping out pages and gluing them in other places and buying new stuff, because really that's so unsustainable in all the ways. So yes, this is what I'll be using from now on, and I hope you enjoyed.